Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back. We back, man. But let's get into this intro real quick. As you can see, guys, I'm alone on this one, man. So let's kick it. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the You Heard podcast with your hosts, Ben, Joe, and CP. We're here to cover everything related to Miami Hurricanes football, from hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about it.
No, let's talk about that right now because you completely flipped it on me now.
I hate him for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I don't appreciate.
What did you say? What are we talking about, son?
Get into it.
I feel keeping it a buck.
You heard?
Yep. What's going on, family? What's going on, man? So you heard podcast. Got my guy John from Cafecito Canes joining him here in a little bit. Just wanted to chop it up with y'all real quick, man. Look, I am an honest person, and I gotta hold myself accountable. Last week, I spoke a little bit out of turn. I got a little bit ahead of myself. I referred to Simeon Barrow, a name that I shouldn't be calling any of these players. I'll go back and listen to that. So I want to hold myself. Yeah, Pope, I'm here by myself now. John from Cafecito Canes is joining me here in a little bit. But got carried away, man. I just be talking shit, and it was out of line. So I wanted to make sure I came on the show and you know what I'm saying, apologize for that. That situation's done and over with. You know what I mean? He re-upped his time. He came back, handled it like a man, just said, yo, look, I messed up. And this is what he said in his tweet, right? Simeon Barrow, y'all seen it. What I understood from it was like, yo, look, I'm here to stay because he had a real other choice. And yeah, it's this situation has shown me one thing is, and I talked about it on For the Culture. I want to make sure I say it on the pod. Is that I'm not going to get carried away with any more transfers. I'm not gonna hype it up. I'm not going to overextend myself in any way. I'm gonna approach it like a probationary hire till they make the 85-man roster. That first game, 8:31 or whatever feature games those days are, I will not get hyped up about it anymore. It's because it's too reactionary, right? And I don't want to be that person. Like, yeah, we react to stuff, but I don't want to be reactionary. And this is like the ebbs and flows of this was crazy because a week ago we think he's gone, and then we're like, yo, okay, all right, man, Josh Horton, I'm on Moten me. You move on. But then you're like, yo, but the depth, because you start thinking about last year, was like that was our big problem why we had to go to 3-3-5. We didn't have the depth on, you know what I'm saying, on the edges. Then if we don't have the depth on the interior because this team is still being built. So all that stuff starts happening. It's just like, and look, and I said it, I was like, look, and I cut the clip because I keep myself accountable. I said his running mate, you know what I'm saying, was the higher graded defensive tackle. The running mate came off the board, and when Simeon Barrow was on the, you know what I'm saying, left on the board, he was the highest rated defensive tackle. So it's the semantics of that. So I was at that point, we got the highest rated defensive tackle on the board, but you know what I'm saying, you got to keep it a buck with that. So hey, man, my guys are out on vacation. You know what I'm saying, that undisclosed locations. Unless y'all follow them, I'm not telling y'all where they are because that's none of your business unless y'all follow my guy Joe and Poke. You know what I'm saying, internationally known. But they're out there, man. But yeah, a lot going on this week. You know what I'm saying, had work going crazy. Yesterday had a bunch of BS. It is what it is. But look, man, big time recruiting weekend this weekend. We'll get into it here in a couple of minutes with my guy Cafecito Canes. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, man. Oh, my guy Poke's headed back home. All right. Safe flight, my brother. Remember, time difference. Time difference is gonna kick your ass for a couple days, but you'll be fine because you got the rest of the week off. Hopefully you're relaxing, but you probably not because you probably gonna go to the beach or something. But yeah, man, the big recruiting weekend last weekend. Love the new pictures coming out. Shout out to Bo Boudry, man, doing his thing on these graphics, bro. With the things he paints, yo, like I'm a person who admires creativity, right? That's why I'm so sensitive about it. My people know it. Like when we create, when we create something, it's yours, right? And what Bo Boudry did with the University of Miami, shout out to Tia Joseph doing an amazing job, and everybody there. The background and the illustrations, the artistry that he has is second to none. It is absolutely fire, 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 fuego, fuego, fuego. It is crazy. Please look at those pictures. They just continue. They never. What I love about the people in the building, man, and they listen to the show. What I love about the people in the building, they never rest on their laurels. Like they never just be like, "Oh, we did the Star Wars type of shit with the lightsabers last year. Let's just do that same thing again." Nah, we're gonna do something totally different this year. We're gonna call up Bo. We're gonna hit up Bo Bouger like, "Yo, man, we need you to decorate all this, and you do whatever you want. You cook up whatever your fucking crazy mind cooks up. Put it on these murals." And he did it, and it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. And then you'll see other schools like they always do will copy it, and they'll have their own shittier versions, and they'll be like, "Oh, we were the first to do it," and then they'll call us irrelevant, and then they'll say we have no money. Just like that, the talking points that are consistently there. You know what I mean? It's bro, but shout out to Bo, man. Shout out to my guy Poe cooking up some stuff. Tomorrow we got something brand new coming out on the website. Y'all make sure y'all look out for that. It's very offensive, but it's very us, if we should say it like that. But yeah, man. Now we're recruiting. I will also not get carried away because besides the "Wake Us Up in December" slogan that we have, merch is on the website. The most important thing with it is I don't worry about graphics anymore. I don't worry about any kind of emojis that these players put out. These players do it and get attention, get a following, build up their NIL, and I completely understand and respect it, and I rock with it. And I'll retweet it when I see it. But till there's a signature in December, which is now the first Wednesday of December, no me importa. Like I'm not getting hyped up about it. I'm not stressing it. It's just it is what it is, man. So I'm looking forward to it. We're getting ready to chop up some stuff, man. We're gonna talk about schedules, projections for the year. We're gonna talk about this weekend's visits. Hold up, man. Let your boy get some water. It is not easy to talk to yourself. It is wild. It is wild style. But yeah, man. This weekend in recruiting, and I want to get to know John. Like I don't know a lot about him. I mean, I know him, like we've spoken before, but want to get to know him and see what the whole reason behind Cafecito and Canes and how he got linked up with Flo and all that stuff. Like that's one of the main reasons I like these kind of shows. You know what I mean? When you have a guest, you just get to know people. Same way we did with Poke, same way we did with CB. Shout out to CB, man. Yeah, it's just an enjoyable time, man, to be a Canes fan because I've crossed the line, not into Kool-Aid land. I'm kicking back with that. I've crossed it where, like, you know what? Every year I'm just gonna take it for that year. I'm not looking, especially now with the portal. Every year has to be looked at as its own year. Look at the year TCU went to the national championship. You would have never thought that going into the year. Every year could be totally different. But my question is, like, how is this going to be sustainable for sustaining dominance, right? For continuing, for continuing, you know what I mean? Like continuing recruiting classes with the portal. Like, how are you going to be able to keep it dominant year after year? That's stuff that I don't understand. That's for people who get paid and that are in the building. I don't care about any other building, by the way. Just the people at the Hex. Like, I don't care about what that weird coach from Clemson does. I'm not a big fan of, you know what I mean? I don't care about any other school. This is the only school I care about. Only school I follow. Just give in and come on over to Kool-Aid Land. The weather's great over here. What's the weather like? Because the weather's shitty. Well, not the weather's nice, but this humidity, Poke, when you get back, bro, because you didn't deal with humidity this week. You were kicking back in zero humidity, 125 degrees. But this humidity, bro, when you get back, like this morning, I left my house at probably 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I could taste the humidity when I walked outside. It was disgusting. I hated every second of it. It was miserable, bro. Miserable. Bull. Terrible. Horrible. But yeah, man. Excuse me. Drink some water, gotta hydrate. Yeah, over here it's like 90, but it feels like 165. That's why I refuse to go to the swamp in August. Just absolutely unbearable. I will be either at home or at Lex's watch party. One of those two places with AC and cold beverages at all times. Hydrating is a motherfucker. You gotta like continuously hydrate. I feel like getting an IV sometimes is so freaking hot. Wait a minute, are there any recruits coming this week that you're really excited about? So the line, and we'll go over it a couple times as soon as my guy John pops in. We got Jalen Matthews coming. Jaden Perlow isn't coming this week. He's on the list, but he's not coming this week. Dalen Upshaw, big time wide receiver from Alabama. Cortez Smith from Georgia. Derry Norris. You got Derry Norris, the D lineman from Florida, from Spruce Creek, Florida. Demetrius Campbell, offensive lineman, Orlando Christian Prep. Gavin Nix. I think that's one of Polk's guys right there. Gavin Nix from IMG. Luke Nickel, the quarterback of this class. Got Elijah Griffin. Listen. Elijah, where's the camera? Where's my camera? Elijah Griffin, son. Elijah Griffin. Whew. Top 10 player in the country. I think number 1 defensive lineman in the country. All right, Poke, safe flight, brother. Be safe, man. Elijah Griffin, problem. Josh Moore, big time wide receiver out of West Broward. You got Walter Mathis out of the Cavalry Day School. Mark Manfred, defensive back from Sprayberry High School, Georgia. Down this line, it's all South except for Jalen Matthews, which is from Jersey. It's all Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Timothy Merritt, I wonder if any relation to our running backs coach. Maybe, maybe not. Timothy Merritt. Dallas Wilson is not coming this weekend. He's got a 7-on-7 tournament. He moved his visit back a week. So, yeah, look, Jalen Matthews, you need to start getting some more offensive linemen. You know how the walls get built continuously to continuous fortifying the trenches. It's every year over year. It's not 1 year you take it off because you fuck around and have injuries, and then you're dealing with a whole bunch of other shit. You have on that one, Elijah Griffin would be a world changer, bro. An absolute world changer. That guy is I think it's 6'5", 295. At 17, bro. At 17. That's 17, 6'5", 295. That's a grown man. You see a picture? That dude is insane. What Jason got to say? Jalen Matthews, Eric Griffin, building the trenches, compete with the SEC boys is crucial to our success and dominance. Yeah, we continue. We got to continue to do it every year. You always got to get three to four on both sides. I think at minimum every year. Every year, minimum. Like next, we're gonna have to go heavy with defensive backs this year because we're so thin back there. That's looking like maybe 5 to 6. But yeah, I really like the guy Jabbar Antoine out of Louisiana, the LSU commit, and I'm hoping we can flip him. That would be dope. Hey, thank you for not cussing, Joe. I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, go enjoy your time, brother. Get off social media and the internet, man. Go to the beach or something. Now's a good time to go to it. So enjoy, brother. Happy anniversary, my guy, man. Have a safe flight when you get back, and I'm saying enjoy your time, brother. But yeah, man, this class has the potential to be crazy, and it's gonna be slow moving because of the season, right? You gotta see it on the field. You gotta see what's popping, and we gotta. Some things I want to talk about. I'm just waiting for John to pop on. Yeah, man, but it's crazy. Like let me see what's going on here. Little technical difficulties. Yeah, but it's crazy how this year can be formed. This year can be formed with a whole different perspective on how the season turns out. When you go, you know what I'm saying? If you go 10-2, it's over. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, he is here. The one and only Cafecito. You know what I'm saying? Cafecito Canes. What's going on, John? How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. How about you?
Good, man. Hanging out just here, holding it down, talking about this these recruits coming this weekend. Got a couple guys drop off like Dallas Wilson and Jaden Perlotti. Perlotti, I think it is. Jaden Perlotti's not coming this week, and Dallas Wilson moved it back a week. So that's.
Is Jaden coming another week? Did he move it back, or he just like is not coming at all?
There's no word yet from the people I talked to. I haven't heard anything yet, which not a fan of that. I mean, they're making a big run on linebackers. Yesterday, Georgia got Zay Walker.
Yeah.
They might be locking things down in Georgia, so they know they got to be scared. So no word yet. I haven't heard anything about him, but Dallas Wilson moved it back a week. He's got a 7-on-7 this week. So the visits,
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about him.
Yeah. Bro, have you seen him? Have you seen the pictures of this grown child of Elijah? 6'5", 295. Absurd, bro. Absurd. Insane. All right, so we got Jalen Matthews. I feel good about him from Jersey. Dalen Upshaw, really good wide receiver out of Alabama. Dude, this whole visits this week is Georgia, Florida, Alabama, except for Jalen Matthews. The whole South.
A lot of Georgia, I'm noticing. So it looks like we're trying to carve out a little pipeline there, which would be great if we can do that, because that would be a great pipeline. We've already started stealing recruits from Ohio State the last couple of years. We've kind of mastered that. If we could start doing that with Georgia as well, oh my God.
That would be insane, bro. I mean, we got Josh Horton out of there, right? Josh Horton was out of Georgia. So there's some things that can happen there.
Georgia or Carolina, one of the two.
I thought it was Georgia. I thought it was like one of the bigger.
Committed to North Carolina, something like that.
He was committed to North Carolina and did like that video and he just put the U hat on.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited about that's coming to visit this week, and you think we have the biggest chance with? Obviously, Luke Nichols going to be there. That's a lock. That's already done and dusted.
Yeah, I mean that we have a realistic shot at. Not that we don't have a realistic shot at Elijah Griffin. Obviously, he's the prize of that group that's visiting. I mean. Elijah Griffin is when Miami's at the top of their game and they're winning, that's the kind of guy we need to be getting for our defensive line. I don't know if you've seen his huddle tape, but it's like if you put a child in front of him to bull rush and he's just going through that person. That's what every highlight looks like. Blockers are literally flying off of him. Or he does that thing where he's just holding a blocker with one arm while he's making the play.
Yeah, it's disrespectful. I love it.
He's out there disrespecting kids on the field. Now, we mess around and win 10 games. Yes, you have a shot at that guy for sure. So, I'll go back on what I said. I think we have a realistic shot there for sure. I mean, out of state guy, but we got Justin Scott last year, and I think we can continue that.
I think everybody's on I try not to be like completely Miami Hurricanes biased, but also fuck all other schools. You know what I mean? But I think if on the field, if it shows up the way we think it is, like everybody's on the table. Like we're gonna have to turn people away this year and next year.
We can we get 10. I mean, we pretty much have our pick aside from like a handful of guys. We get 11 or 12. Like if things really bounce our way this year, I mean, we could literally go get whoever we want. I really believe that.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know how after 2017, when we won 10 games that season, I don't know how we managed to mess that up, because we could have done so much better in recruiting after that class. I mean, I think we still got like the number 12 class after that year, but still, I mean, after Miami having the season they had, maybe because of the way the season ended, maybe that had something to do with it, but
embarrassing. Yeah. Like you fell on your face. Yeah. But the recruits should have already been locked up. Like they should have seen, they're trending in the right way. But that comes down to the people that were in the room didn't sell it correctly. That's what happened. Well,
we didn't have this.
Yeah.
We didn't have the funding we have now. That's a big big thing.
Yeah, Mark Richt had to pay for stuff out of pocket. Jay Singh says, Ben, we began the year saying this was going to be a small class. Do you feel those numbers will creep towards a full 25, or Mara pretty much making business decisions with the roster? I think 25 is the small version of the class. I think every year is going to be at least 25. Anything above that is a bigger class, but 25 is the small class. You have to continue to grow 25. And every year, Jason, every transfer portal is going to be business decisions. Every single one. So, John, before you came on, what I was talking about with the Simeon Barrow thing, like it showed me a lot to not react emotionally. Like obviously, we're gonna fan, you're gonna fan, but like not to react emotionally and start looking at these, for better word, hires with the transfer portal. Just look at them like a 90-day probationary period, and that 90 days extends to game one when they can't leave, right? Like, well, they could be dismissed,
Right.
but they can't leave. They can't choose to leave. So I'm no longer getting like, oh, this is the guy. Like, hey man, I'll wait. Because look, Savion Riley left. You know what I'm saying? There's people that came in last year. We had the guy from Iowa, was it Purdue, that came here and then left back to Iowa, the defensive back that I can't remember, Terry Roberts, right? So like it's already happened. So it was like, but Terry Roberts wasn't a guy you were like super enthused about. But I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer getting carried away. Yeah, Rick had Parkinson's when he was here. Like Rick was fully engulfed like 4 or 5 years into Parkinson's, but the symptoms hadn't started showing up. That's 100% true. But yeah, man. So John, before we get into more topics, man, I was curious because we've never talked about this. I've been on your show a couple times. What made you start Cafecito and Canes?
Well, it was during COVID. I wanted to I saw a couple of content creators, doing their thing. And I was like, you know what? That'd be cool to like that'd be cool to, even if it's to create like an extra stream of income, that's kind of what I was thinking of it as, while doing something I'm passionate about. So I'm like, man, I'd like to, but how can I do that? It started just with an Instagram page, and it kind of grew to a YouTube channel. And I got pretty lucky in that regard, because maybe the algorithm favored me just because there's a lot of Cane fans geographically in my area. My videos made their way to a lot of people's homepages, to their feed on YouTube, and my followers grew. It grew kind of pretty consistently. That doesn't always happen, because I've started 1 or 2 other YouTube channels that it's not as quick. One of them being the Dolphins one that I have now, First and 20. Go follow that. But
go check it out. Make sure to subscribe.
Yeah, and it's, for whatever reason, I hit like a good stride with this one, and it just kind of took off from there. And then it was during that 2020 season, the De'Ara King season, that I started doing videos. I would do like post-game thoughts and stuff like that. And Flo reaches out to me, and Flo and he'll tell you, he and I were both at the time at like 200 subscribers, maybe 200-300 subscribers each.
Yep.
And that's when he started reaching out to other content creators and try to create some kind of a team, and people have joined and fallen off that team. And then we got in with Canes Insight for a little while, and we do their show, they would do our show, that kind of thing. We collab with them a lot, and 4 years later it grew to this.
It's crazy, bro. When you first started, man, I know you were looking at it, especially during COVID, because you're just sitting at home. When you first started, did you ever think it would grow? When you first said like your first video hit like 1,000 views, were you like, what the fuck? Yo, people are watching this?
You know what's funny? The first video that hit, like, that kind of went viral, I guess, it hit 3,000 views, and that's when I was averaging like a few hundred. So I was hitting some kind of a stride. The season had started already. I was doing pre and post game kind of stuff. My best video at that point probably hit like 300 something views, and my post game recap of the Clemson game of that season, when we went up against Trevor Lawrence up in Clemson, when they had 19,000 in the stadium, but it looked sold out.
Completely sold out.
Yeah. I did a wrap up of that, and that one had over 3,000 views, and I'm like, whoa, okay. that doesn't usually happen. So I tried to like ride that wave of, that momentum. So I just kept putting out content of like, if news broke of a certain recruit, I would hop
Mhm.
on and record a video. And it just built from there. I started, with Canva. I started playing with like the thumbnails to
Mhm. Mhm.
kind of started studying what other creators did. And yeah, like you said, I had, I was still working, but I was working 100% remote from home. So, you're not going out as much. This is, remember, think of like summer of 2020. Even in
Yep.
Miami, where like stuff was kind of open, we were open kind of a lot sooner than the rest of the country, but still, it was like I had just moved to a new apartment and I was just kind of chilling. I'd get off work and,
Got
I'd
nothing
have
to do.
time on my hands. And I would have like old highlights playing on YouTube in the background while I was like working at home. And
Mhm.
yeah, man, it was like, it was kind of like it was the perfect time for it to happen.
Yep.
Wasn't in a
Dude, I
relationship or
remember
anything. I was just chilling at home and I had all this time. So it worked.
watching your videos. You used to do it on your kitchen, on your like counter. You do like a Saturday morning, like a recap. You have your cafecito. I was like, bro, like look
I
at
did
this
a
guy
few of
just like,
those.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember those. I was like, look at this guy just having some cafe and talking some canes. I remember I subscribed. This is probably 2021, like maybe
It was about
earlier
like
than that.
2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible with dates, by the way. Like I'm horrible with like times of stuff. So I have no idea. So you brought up like the 2017 season, right? So I know
Yeah.
this year we're getting projected. You see let me bring it up. I brought some hold on, wait, here we go. So let's move us to the side because this looks crazy. Wait, no. Here we go. There it is. Bam. Professional. Right here, John. Professional. All right. So analyzing the projections for this year, 2024 ACC win totals. They
Yeah.
have us in the just right at 9.5. I think Vegas has us at 9.5,
Yeah.
things like that. Now, this is my problem here. You can too low for NC State and Florida State. I don't understand. I don't know, like what's high, like how is that? That's a good season. I don't what too low. What is perfection?
Dude, the media is in love with Mike Norvell.
I know.
He
It's,
goes to the bathroom and they lose their minds. It's
it's so
this
weird.
love affair with him that ESPN and the ACC network has. I know, and I think part of it is FSU's kind of been, they were the class of the ACC before we joined years later.
Right.
So I think they want that to come back. And yeah, they're trying to squeeze whatever they can out of that 13-0 season. Well, 13-1 season from last year.
Yeah. Losing by 60.
Yeah. But if you look at the roster, and look, I thought I kind of fell into the trap too of like, listen, you still got a good coaching staff there. They got a solid roster. It's not bad. I could see them, I have them as like a 9-3 team. But man, 9.5 being too low. So you think they're going to win at least 10? I don't know
No.
what drugs they're on that make them think that.
That's just that's so hard to predict. That like what I don't understand how you predict that. Like
they could. Could it happen? It could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a downgrade at quarterback. I think we can all agree there.
Yep.
I don't think Uiagalelei is bad. He's a decent QB, and I think Norvell can get something out of him. I think, but he's not Jordan Travis.
Nope.
And Flo made a good point to me the other day when we were doing our rankings thing. I was like, oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that Jordan Travis bailed him out of a couple of games.
100%.
I don't see Uiagalelei doing that. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's going to cost you games. He's going to cost you games.
He might cost you one or two, but for the most part, he's going to be just like a solid game manager. I think that's how they're going to use him. Johnny Wilson is gone, I think, right?
Yep. To the league.
Keon Coleman's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Jaheim Bell is gone.
Gone. Yeah. He's gone.
I know Benson, the running back, is bro. The guys that carried your offense are all gone. Like, again, let's revisit this too low 9.5 BS. Like, what are you smoking?
I just don't get
that
it.
you think a 9.5 prediction is like, oh no, that's way too low. Do these people think that the whole team came back? Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand what they're saying. I don't look. I hate them, and I will always hate them. Just like seeing them in the too low. I'd put them in like maybe the just right section. You know what I mean?
If
like,
you put them in just right for that, fine. That I can take.
There's two other teams that have 9.5, right? Like, by the way, you see VT, the team I told you on your show that I was worried about, got them at 8.5. So like it's got Clemson at 9.5, Miami at 9.5, but too low. So Florida State to them is still, and as he said, the class of the ACC. I thought that was just weird. I thought that was weird. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me in any way whatsoever. It just doesn't. It's weird. I don't get it.
So they have FSU. Well, remember, I don't know if you saw the ESPN FPI predictions for the ACC, that it has FSU winning the ACC 26.9%, I think it was.
Yeah.
The next team down is Clemson at like 16% chance. And then we're like fifth at 9.9%. They have SMU at 9%.
Yep.
Again, this is, you know what this reminds me of? Because they did the same shit in 2020. Remember, we were all hyped because, you know, we went and got we got a few portal ads, Quincy Roche. We had Bubba Bolden coming back. We had, you know, this guy, that guy, and we went and got De'Ara King. And we're like, and we all said the same thing, and we ended up being right to a degree. Like, man, you add De'Ara King to this roster. This is an 8-9
solid
win team, solid 8-9 win team at least. And, you know, of course, had we played a full 12 game schedule, I think we would have won at least 9 games with De'Ara King that year.
Absolutely.
Because I think it was the easier games that got canceled. And I remember
Smaller
thinking the whole
schools.
I remember we didn't play an FCS game that year, so
no,
you know, but whatever. So I remember going into that season, people are in the program and people that are really in the weeds with this thing, they're like, you know, watch out for Miami, kind of like now. But the mainstream that kind of like, they're not really studying this stuff, you can tell, they're like writing us off. And I'm like, do y'all see what De'Ara King just did in Houston? That's our QB now. Like, are you?
Yeah.
And I remember the FPI predictions had us, I remember they had the schedule and we were playing FSU like the third game or whatever. They had us at like a 27% chance to beat them or something. That was the year we beat them by 40.
Yep. Yeah,
like there was percentage chances to win each game, and they were like, the Louisville game was super low. We also blew them out. Like they were so off, it was insane. This is reminding me of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This year. Yeah. Dude, this is such a weird year. Like, depending on what, like, there was an article I read last night from like 247 that was like the ACC prediction that has Miami in the ACC championship game as the number 2 team behind Clemson. You know what I mean? Like it's so all over the place that it's so hard to predict.
Right.
And John, so before we came on, because I know we're supposed to do the show yesterday, and I've been thinking about it since we talked. I think it was last week. And you start looking at this roster, right? Like I think for a lot of us, we have like that first impression view of it, like how Mario was year one. You start looking at this roster, and just on the running backs, for example, dude, at one point in year one, we were throwing out there a preferred walk-on from like a FCS school, right? Like we had zero depth, and now we have depth. So like you start looking at how this roster is built, and it starts giving me more confidence, right? Like because it's like going into these games, and we talked about it. You look at the schedule last year, and I sent you the clip because I saw the PT. I call it PTVD, right? Watching the highlights of the bad plays last year, we'll put it like that, don't have to keep rehashing it, and how many games we were in, right? Just because it's like, and I told you, I was like, I want to have the Dawson conversation, but I don't know how. And look, I'm not the like X's and O's guy, you know, soy payaso, right? Like, but it's like I don't know how you could judge it. You could judge him when like he, like the old quarterback, would consistently get picked by the same player. That underneath guy, like it wasn't the safety breaking on a crazy route. It was always that weird like star, like, you know what I'm saying, like outside backer, nickel guy that would always just cut down anything. And he just never saw him. Like I don't know. In chat and everybody in the rewatch, let me know. I don't know how you coach that. And you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, there's 11 guys. What do you consistently say? Hey, there's 11 guys in the field, not 10.
Yeah.
That cost us so many games. Dude, 7-5 easily was 9-3 last year. Easily to me
Mhm.
was 9-3. So I was
Yeah.
like, how do you get away from people be like, yo, but they need a coach, or it was Mario's knee and all this shit. I was like, bro, like 12 interceptions and a lot of them were in the red
That
zone.
was they keep bringing up the knee and all that. Yes, absolutely. Game should have been won in that moment. Game should have been won in the third quarter. We should have been up by like 3 touchdowns at that point.
Yep.
I think because that's right around the time all these betting apps started coming out and everything. It was last season, and I think I remember seeing Georgia Tech was like a plus 500 underdog or something in that game. It was they were a big underdog,
Big
and
underdog.
and like, man, I wish I had already enrolled in Hard Rock Bet at the time, but whatever. For
real, would have made a killing, bro.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I saw the video you sent me, and I was at the gym actually when I got the notification. It was during my lunch break. I'm at the gym taking a break between sets, and I see it, and I pulled the video, and I'm like slowing it down on certain picks. A couple of them, the ones that were like severely underthrown, I really do believe. Well, I don't just believe, like it came out that he had like torn ligaments in his finger. I think that had something to do with it. He definitely had issues, gripping the ball properly. Sometimes he was able to put everything in a throw and, he put it on the money. Other times it affected his throw. So, I'm not going to say that wasn't a factor. I'm sure health was absolutely a factor with him last year, but there were certain interceptions that they almost looked on purpose. That they just hit.
Georgia Tech looked bad. Georgia Tech.
There was one against Georgia Tech that looked really, the first one, triple coverage in the end zone, like that's QB 101. You're in field goal range. You had a short guy underneath to dump it off to. If nothing, he gets stopped short. Okay, fourth down, we kick a field goal. There were 2 interceptions in that game that were in the red zone. That's like kindergarten stuff. Like you don't throw interceptions in the red zone, especially that bad, that it's just right in a linebacker's chest. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then the one against NC State that I told you about, that he had Jacoby go into the corner of the end zone. Just absolutely beat his man, make him look silly.
Yeah. He's
throw it to the pylon, it's a touchdown. But again, could have been the grip on the ball, but still, it was so bad. It was so badly underthrown. And then there was the one that I think TVD had to chase the guy down himself. I think
that's when he hurt himself. I think that's when he ripped when he ripped the muscle off the bone, which is the story that we got. I don't know how. Yeah, okay, I don't know. That's not possible. You can't walk, bro. No muscle on bone.
The muscle separated from the skin, actually.
Yeah,
according to a report, which is like a rare thing. It can happen, but very painful. But anyway, I remember on that, it was the third and final interception against Georgia Tech. He had to chase the guy down.
Yep.
On that play, again, he threw into double coverage. The linebacker, the slot corner, whatever it was ready to pounce on that ball. You could see him the whole way. He had somebody, I want to say it was X on the outside, one-on-one coverage, like calling it was one-on-one, but one-on-one, you go to the end zone on that one. That's I'm slowing these down, and I'm like, bro, if I see it, like, what would you do?
Thing, right? Like if we see it and we're assholes that just watch videos, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we see it, your job is to see it. So it was like it never seemed like different kind of picks, right? It always seemed like the same kind of picks. Anthony Manzano wants to play devil's advocate real quick. Which added a little bit. I think having multiple coordinators and playbooks finally caught up with him, and that's why he missed. But yes, we'll go with that, right? Having multiple coordinators, but that's going to happen everywhere. That's going to happen when he gets to the league. If he gets to the league, people get hired off. That's always going to happen. But the mistakes that he made aren't those of a 4th-year starter, right? Like it's not. That's what's not acceptable. So it's like we want to. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like I said, I'm not saying they were on purpose, but some of them looked so bad, they looked like they were on purpose. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it was almost like he got tired of being there, and he's like, I just want to get the fuck. Like, he's just throwing it. Just like, hey, whatever, man. Here you go, bro. I'm out of here. But and I'm not putting it all on him. So it's like, I don't know. And this becomes like the chicken or the egg thing. that me and Joe or Flo, all of us that have talked about, is like, what is our offense, right? Because we can't grade it from last year because you're going to go off all the turnovers. But then you go, oh, we were so bad on offense. We went from like 95th to 25th in total offense.
Yeah,
Jumped up 70 spots, and we left so many yards on the field. We left so many yards on the field. Not counting touchdowns, all this is just yards, just pure yardage, which wins you a game because that's first downs, that's clock, that's all those things add up to winning games. And we left so many of them. It's insane, bro. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
What up, L? John, I wanted to ask you, man. We talked about the 2017 season. I'm curious at your take with this. I was thinking about this earlier. Let's say we win 10, right? Let's say we win 10. We'll go, what is that? 10 and 3 or 10 and 2, and we go to the ACC championship game. The 2 losses, you get whoever they are, doesn't matter. Let's say we beat Florida State, we lose to Louisville, and we have that wonky day after Thanksgiving loss to Syracuse, right? Like, because it's just, I hate that game, whatever. But every game we win by, it's the 2017 season all over again. It's you win by 3, you win, you know what I mean? Like, where it leaves like room for criticism for the people who already have their narratives filled in. Go 10-3 and you make it to the ACC championship game. How would you view that season? Would you view it like a thoughtful person, and you're gonna be like, how the fuck did we beat Virginia Tech by 2 points when they didn't win another game the rest of the year? Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Like how, like the 2017 season, when we look at it like 10-3 ended badly, bunch of one-score wins. Like, do you start looking at like, are we turning the table? Or you're like, oh, the ball just bounced our way. Like, how do you start viewing a win in that sense?
I mean, I'm really expecting a few blowouts this year. I don't want it to be one of those where, you know, against Manny Diaz's Duke, where we beat them by 7, or you know, or like, who is it that we play before Syracuse? It's Wake Forest, I think, at home. Yeah,
Wake Forest at home. Honestly, I had no idea we played Wake Forest this year. Like, Joe had to tell me 3 times, like, we played Wake Forest. I'm looking at the schedule and my brain couldn't like register it. It's crazy.
Yeah. No divisions anymore. So yeah, we play them. You know, if we beat them by 3 or whatever, I wouldn't look that. I mean, yes, I'd be happy that we win 10 games because our predictions came true. And, you know, along the way, and if you beat FSU and Florida along the way, even better. So I'd be happy, but not satisfied. I'd be like, yeah, there's still room for improvement here. I don't think they've totally turned the corner. You know, they got carried by the fact that they have a great quarterback and, you know, guys just made plays at the right time. I'd still be like, yo, we still haven't hit that next level yet that we need to hit. But there's a good 4 or 5 games that should be dominant victories.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. No, definitely. Let's see what Anthony was adding this college about development and student development, not having the same coordinator playbook. That's where all these mistakes were happening. I don't know if what do you got, John?
I don't know if I agree with that, because all those interceptions were thrown with clean pockets, and they were like not plays where, you know, he didn't understand what was going on. Look at the Texas A&M game. Look at the Boston College game. Look at the Louisville game. What are the differences between that and the other games where he was throwing picks? It was, he opened things up. Dawson was given the reins back, and it seems, and he opened things up. He started to do more things that TVD liked, that he was comfortable with. And I heard this on a podcast. God, I wish I could remember who it was that said it. And which podcast it was. I want to say it was Behind the U. One of those podcasts. They had someone on.
Shout out to Josh Darrow.
Like, it might have been Josh Darrow. Yeah, I think it was. And his guest, it was a woman. I forget her name. And she was like, yeah, look, what was happening there behind it. This is like right after the season ended. And she was like, yeah, what was happening? There was a communication issue that, like, TVD is not, he's not the alpha leader that Cam Ward is. the vocal alpha leader. I think we all knew that. And I think part of it was Dawson kind of was having a hard time getting on the same page with him to, it was almost like, tell me what you want kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like what
and
do
he just
what
like,
do
oh,
you want to do?
Instead of
TVDs letting, just
leading
being told what to do.
Yeah.
TVD didn't come out and say, hey, yo, this isn't working. Let's do this. Let's try this play. Let's run this. He wasn't doing that. Similar thing happened with Gaddis the year before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because notice, right before,
passive.
too passive. As a quarterback, you got to step up and be like, yo, this isn't working. Let's try something new. I like to run, this kind of play action, this bootleg, this, that. I like to run these quick slants, whatever you like to run. And it just seemed that they kind of got on the same page again at the end of the season, but it was like too late.
Yep.
But I remember TVD and Gaddis the year before. I mean, Gaddis was a disaster for many reasons, but I think Gaddis wasn't interested in molding the offense around him, around his skill set.
Yeah,
that
Gaddis
was a
came
problem.
with ego.
And then when he finally asked him, then, in the Virginia Tech game, which was, we played them on the road that year. That was 2022. That was like our second win of the season or something. We went up there. We got the win. But if you remember in the first half of that game, the offense was clicking. It was moving. We were actually throwing the ball, using the entire field. Kobe Young had his first big game as a Hurricane. And it just worked. And what happened? Oh, he started calling stuff that TVD likes to run. Why didn't you do that in the A&M game? We lost that game 17-9. We could have beaten them 34-17 with the guys we had. It would have been what we did to them last year. It would have been the same thing up there because they had the same team.
Same exact team. Yeah. It's just weird, bro. It's so weird, right? Like,
very weird.
It's so weird how those little things have to be done and talk to and tweaked here, tweaked there. But
and I have a theory. Yeah, and I have a theory on that. Funny, I thought of this a day or two ago. This crossed my mind that Mario's such an alpha that if as a quarterback you don't tell him what you like to run, guess what? He's going to tell you what he likes to run, and you're going to like it.
100%. 100%. Oh no!
When you have two alphas in a room, it's like Cam. If Cam's not going to let that happen. He's like, no, you paid all this money, you brought me in here. Let's run this. These are my skills. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
This is so. Yes, I'm with you. Do you think now, going back to the Cam Ward saga, do you think making Mario wait was a fucking power move? To be like, oh, you think you're the guy? You think you it, big dog? All right, I'm gonna show you. I'm coming the whole time, but I'm gonna make you sort it out. I'm gonna make you beg for me.
That's an interesting take. I mean, I know. We all know his camp to a certain degree was involved. As it often is the case with these guys.
Not in a disrespectful way. No, that's not.
No,
I'm saying
you're on my
bro,
timetable.
I'm a lead. Yeah, I'm a leader too, bro. You know what I mean? Because what you're saying, you got to be the alpha. You cannot be beta in any way. You can't be like, yes, whatever you say, Mario. You know what I'm saying? You can't Planet of the Apes this shit and put your hand out yes, Caesar. You know what I mean? You got it. Because I think you're right. Just going off what you said, you have to tell them. You have to be assertive and who you are. Like, Mario, this is what I like to do. You know what I mean? And you got to show him that that's what you like to do. But if you're like, okay, coach, then he's just gonna coach you to death because he thinks he's leading you the right way. I'm with you on that.
Right, but maybe there was a little bit of that. Definitely Cam, he was on his own timetable. He was taking his time making his decision, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think for the most part, he was honestly torn between Miami and the NFL. I think he 100%. was honestly torn. I think he was weighing out the pros and cons of both, and that plus camp getting involved, and his dream is eventually to go to the NFL, right? So he had a chance at that. Maybe he got some bad advice. Most people didn't have him as more than a fourth or third rounder. I think once he came to that realization, this is my opinion, my theory. Once he came to that realization, he was like, you know what? Miami's got a hell of an O-line. They're moving in the right direction. I know if they bring me in, they're going to take care of me. They're going to, they're going to put me in a position to succeed, or at least do the best they can in doing that. They're going to surround me with skill guys. You know what? Let's go. Let's give it one more year. So I think ultimately that's what happened. But definitely at the beginning, he was like, I'm going to take my time and do my visits. Because remember, at one point it was, we were like him or Will Howard, like, but make your decision quick. Thank God Mario waited, and he was like, no, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket. It's him or nothing.
The cojones of that patience, bro. Like
bro. That could have easily got really bad.
Really bad, bro. Like this, it could have been bad. I said that a couple weeks ago. I was like, bro, like that level of like confidence in yourself and your ability to like do your job, like in the recruit, because at that point you're recruiting, right? And to be like, nah, we're waiting for him. You know what I mean? Like they both played like the perfect alpha game, and you could see, like at the spring game, you could see the difference in energy from him there. You know what I mean? Like from Cam being there to the previous thing, and we got to talk to Cam a little bit, bro. Like his presence is very similar to Mario. Like, as we got to talk to Coach Chris about a little bit, like their energies and like their way, like they're very much like, yo, this is it, bro. Like they know it. Juan Manuel goes, this season looks different with a healthy Fletcher and the impact of Elijah Lofton and Jordan Lyle, which looks like an absolute monster in the offseason workouts. Mario now has the capability to play Mario bully ball. I'm pretty sure you meant bully, not Billy. Which leads to the question: can Mario keep the hands? I think Mario's hands are all over this though. Like, because it can't be both, right? Like Mario's recruiting the fuck out of these young men and these transfer portal guys and building the roster in his image. So like the way you look, the roster, his hands are all over this. So either it succeeds with him or it doesn't, but his hands are in it. You know what I'm saying? Not in no crazy way. Listen, we always talk. By the way, I love Anthony's math here. We always talk about the physical traits of the quarterback position, but to me, I think the quarterback position is 45% physical, 75% mental. You wanna? Is it 120% there? Eh? Is that what it is? All right, okay. No, it's definitely mental, bro. That's why I shit all over TVD last year, because him soaking in the corner infuriated me, bro. I hated every second of that. But like, bro,
yeah, and like X had to pick him back up after interceptions oftentimes, and it was I agree, it was annoying. And the weird thing was when Emory beat Clemson, TVD was all about it. He was like his biggest cheerleader, and it's like, where's this enthusiasm when you're under center, bro? Like, this is weird
because there's no pressure. There's no pressure. Like, that's the other thing, right?
True.
Like, our two biggest wins, right? Like, would have been from a true freshman. You know what I mean? So it's like it goes to like the whole development argument and all that stuff. It's not like people were knocking down Emory's door. You know what I mean? Like he kind of got found in the panhandle from Frank Ponce, and he came here like, all right, whatever. Like he game managed the shit out of it, but like I showed you that like a game could be managed as long as you like. If a game is managed and you don't make the mistakes, our season is very different last year in every way. If TVD is just a game manager, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna ask a fourth-year guy to do that. So we're just trying to figure out. Still don't know what this offense is. So this year we're gonna figure it out. And I'm not here for any Tua disrespect, bro. I'm not here for it. All right, especially, you know what I'm saying, me and him have very similar hair. I'm not gonna disrespect him out here. So what if he looks 100% Dominican all of a sudden, being Samoan? Bro, that guy looks like he rolls up in his car listening to bachata, bro. Let's be honest. That's a 100%.
Did you see there was an Instagram video of somebody, I guess, like meeting him and getting to take a picture and getting an autograph from him?
Yeah.
Tua looks like a different person because he's slimmed back down. He lost a bunch of the weight that he gained last year to be like a little smaller and quicker. And he looks so small. He shaved the beard. He has the curly hair, and he's taking a picture. And somebody screen grabbed the caption. And he's like, "Nah, man, that's wish.com Tagovailoa. That's Timo Tagovailoa."
But he looks so small. He looks like a child. He looks like
I
an
thought
absolute child.
When the guy was making the joke in the comment, I thought, "Oh no, that's not Tua." I thought it was a joke, but it's like, oh no, that is him.
That is Tua. Very
he
small.
looks small, bro.
I don't like it. I always thought he could put on weight, bro. Like, I know Samoans. You know what I mean? I lived in Hawaii for a long time. Like, I know what they get. Like, putting on muscle for them is not hard, and they don't put on muscle in bad ways, bro. Like, it's just like he's on like that weird shape. I don't know. It's very strange. Like, I know 14-year-olds, right? Because I watched a lot of like high school ball when I was there. Because first of all, Samoan football is fucking ferocious. Like 14-year-olds that look like him. You know what I mean? Like there's grown, like I've walked next to people that it takes me 3 seconds to get past their back type huge. Like Samoans are a different level. Samoans are insane.
Oh, I know. And yeah, funny you mentioned Hawaii. I'm going to Maui sometime next year. So
have a great, bro. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. I'll never go back because I lived there for 6 years. So like I've kind of done it all, even though my wife wants to go back. So eventually I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and take that flight. So New King God asks, what do you need to see against Florida for you to believe Miami can win the ACC?
Just us doing what I think we're gonna do is establish the run and ram it down their throats, and you know, and a little play action, open things up a bit, hit some passes in the middle of the field, you know, and just, you know, jump out to like a nice little 2 touchdown lead, and you know, and just kind of never look back, you know.
Yeah.
Give me
like 17-3 at half. Give me like 17-3 at half, and I feel really good. Whew.
It's not just the score. What I'm trying to say is like it's the kind of run because you know there's certain games, those certain football games you watch where it might not be a blowout, but you just know the way they're running the ball and moving the chains and moving the chains. It's like, oh, this other team's done. They're screwed. Yeah, they might only be down 10 or 14 points, but they're done. They're not stopping these guys.
I want like a 2 touchdown lead going into half, and then the Clemson game plan of just running the ball in that third quarter and just punishing them, just holding the ball the entire third quarter, like getting the ball just 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but it's nasty. It's people getting thrown. You know what I mean? Like I want Marshawn Lynch type runs. Just hey, you think you're tough? Like out, just making them look like bitches. Like that's in that third quarter, and then it ends with like I don't care if it ends with like Andy Borgata's field goal. Just like absolute. Yo, what are they doing to them? Like, I want bully ball, bro.
Yeah. No, I want that too. I want a little bit of a balance, though. I want Cam to hit a couple throws down the field. I want JoJo and Jacoby and these guys to kind of do their thing. But, you know, we're not going to see the whole playbook game one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. They're going to establish the run for sure, but I think it's going to work. And, you know, yeah, like you said, I want to see us punish them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a trick play at some point. You know, maybe like a little flea flicker on the first series. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be surprised, John. Here's the truth, bro. I never want to see a flea flicker again. I'm so tired that's our only trick play. Like
that was Gaddis. No, but that was Gaddis.
That was like the play for him. Like, oh, look how smart I am. Oh yeah, cool. I hate that guy.
But definitely,
I want to see what I want to see the first play. I want to see what what Utah did to Florida last year, like that first play just over the top with Jacoby George. First play of the game, they had remember they had like their third string quarterback, and then just beat them over the top. That's what I want to see right off the top, and then just Cam Ward like this.
Yes. No, definitely stretch the field. We're gonna have to challenge their corners because you know who they have at corner.
Yeah. The guy they got, but that guy. That's the guy that got toasted, and Cormani McClain is going to be on the other side. Like that's the guy that got toasted in that first play with the walk on.
I'm talking about both of them. I'm talking about Cormani and Jason Marshall is the other one.
Yeah, Jason Marshall. He's the one that got toasted on that play.
They're not great at corner right now, dude. You got to attack their corners. That's one thing Gaddis did not do, which drove me insane. Us not challenging their corners, especially in the ACC. And last year we did it a little more. I just want to see a return to what Gaddis said after the A&M game. And I don't know if maybe Mario didn't like it and maybe he got punished a little bit for it. But I love what Dawson said after that A&M game is like, conservative gets you beat. I'm trying to end this MFer right now.
I made that into a shirt, John. It's on the website. I made that. I fucking love that quote so much. I made it into a shirt. YouHeardPodcast.com/merch.
I want to return to that when appropriate, though. You know, if we're controlling the clock, just smashing them in the mouth, do that. Whatever, whatever works.
You know what's crazy though, John? Like we say, it has to be like ground up, but you could punish them through the air. Like Cam Ward can hit you for like 550.
Them.
Yeah, just embarrass them. Like, oh, well, you thought you're cool? Let me show you what this is.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. If you could switch traditions with any other college, which would it be? Penn State, white out for me. Virginia Tech, Enter the Sandman. I mean, right?
That'd be cool.
Well, nothing would come to the Rock thing is cool, like walking in, cool, but I hate Dabo Swinney, so I can't give him any credit ever. Yeah, Enter the Sandman would be absolutely fire. Absolutely.
Yeah. I love I honestly, I wish they get rid of the fire when we run out of the smoke. I wish they get rid of the fire. That was like an extra little thing they added in that they didn't need to add in. Us running through the inflatable helmet, running through the smoke.
Yep.
Us when the players start shaking the helmet back and forth before they run out. I love that. And I would like
I don't need the fire. Just give me the smoke in the helmet. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Exactly. Give me the smoke with the helmet. And, the more we win, the more they're going to show up. But I miss that when they came out of the corner of the Orange Bowl. It definitely had more of an atmosphere.
Yeah.
But
that Orange Bowl was holding on for dear life, bro. It just needed to be renovated. And now we got a terrible team there.
I know. But as far as other traditions I like, I love, them coming out to Enter Sandman, Virginia Tech is pretty cool. It's one of my favorite entrances. I'm trying to think what other, I don't know, because the Canes have never been very like collegey, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like those old school college traditions. We kind of rebelled against that.
Yeah. And then we make our own thing that everybody copies us is what happens towards the end.
Yes. Agreed. I see Juan Manuel's asking me something. Why unleash the whole play with her? Save it for whom? No, I just don't. I just think week one with the jitters, everybody's going to be kind of tight week one. You know how
it's still week one. Yeah, it's still week one. Like that's the other. Like we were playing Florida. It's week one, bro. Like it's the first game. You don't know how players. Yeah, it's week one. Like you got to remember that
for our benefit. You don't want to throw too much at our guys. And I understand it's the second year with Dawson, which will help us. We're not going to be so tight game one, but it is a big game in a big atmosphere. Everyone's going to be a little tight. And, adrenaline's going to be sky high. Call simple things and then just kind of build from that. Don't stay with the same 5 plays. I'm not saying that either, but open it up as the game goes. I would like to see us be aggressive the first drive so the safeties aren't in the box. Because if we loosen up that box, if we hit a couple throws downfield, we loosen up that box, it's Damian Martinez all day, Chris Johnson all day, and then Gators are done.
It's over. It's over there.
Yeah.
All right. You can go. There's a couple questions before we get up out of here. Better play at Miami, Jaquan Johnson, Cam Kitchens.
Ooh.
For me,
Jaquan. I would say Cam. I would say Cam, but it's very close actually. Because
it's by a hair. It's by a hair. Yeah.
Jaquan Johnson was a hell of a player, and there was.
Yes, he was.
You were never afraid of him getting beat over the top with him, whereas Cam was a little more aggressive and might make a mistake here and there.
He'd always take that extra step that puts him just out of position.
Yeah, no, and that first season when Kevin Steele was the DC and we got beat over the top like once a game.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
And I know Cam was involved in some, if not all of those, in some way. I don't know if it was his fault or not. Whatever.
Which ended up being an All-American, which was very weird in the end of that. Like, it was like, are we looking at the same thing? It was very weird how they rated that, but he had like 6 picks.
But you know what? He had such a monster game against Georgia Tech. The Hall of Fame, the All-American hype with him started after that game.
Yes, 100%.
A big part of it was that game. He had 3 interceptions, took over the game, dominated. But Jaquan, I will say, was more consistent and
very
saved.
physical.
I don't know how many big plays and run support. He was just Mr. Reliable, like from day one as a freshman. Yeah, so
he was.
I don't know. It's really close.
I'm putting like 51-49. Like, I'm not saying like consensus. Like, it's not like an 80-20 type of thing. Like 51-49. Jalen Phillips, Greg Rousseau, better player while at Miami.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Greg Rousseau. Greg Rousseau, because we only saw it for a little bit, and he had like 15 sacks that one year.
15 and a half, yeah. As a freshman, right? Like
as a redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman, yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips was a little bit older, had seen some football, had a good 1 year though.
Jalen was a first rounder. They're both first rounders, but God, we got robbed of. Yeah, we had the worst luck with Rousseau because his freshman year, I remember he came in 2019. It was Manny Diaz's first year. We're opening against Florida in Orlando, and he's talking about how unblockable this guy is as a true freshman who converted to edge rusher late in his high school career.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's like, this guy's unblockable. And then he gets hurt. Was it in the Florida? No, I'm sorry. No, the 2019 season he played. I'm sorry, the year before.
2018.
The opening game against LSU. Okay. Mark Richt was still the coach. He was the one. Yeah. They were saying he's unblockable, all this stuff. He goes to block a punt. He gets blocked. He gets like kind of cut blocked. And that's when he gets hurt. So he misses his entire freshman year. Comes in 2019. That was when we opened against Florida. He has 15 and a half sacks. I think he felt like 2 sacks short of Daniel Stubbs for the school record as a redshirt freshman. Then his third year was supposed to be, okay, this guy, him on one side and Phillips on the other, and we just got Quincy Roche. We're going to go off on people. Then because of COVID,
he sat out. Play. Yeah, he doesn't play.
He sat out. We had the worst luck with him. It
just never clicked. It just never like lined up perfectly. It was so, but that's been 20 years. It's not. Greg Rousseau is a like encapsulation of what it's.
I'm sorry. That's whatever voodoo hex is happening. That running back can't stay healthy, and
When I saw somebody put him mal de ojo, bro. Like somebody left some shit, left some santeria. They need to call Changoa Legua or some shit and get this thing done right. Everybody, why are we doing the versus battle? What's going on here? Randall Hill, Santana Moss.
Santana Moss, hands down.
Santana Moss, come on, son. That must be a generational thing, Nathan, because I think you wanted us to say Randall Hill, Through Hill, but it's Santana Moss. Come on, one of the
love Through Hill, but no, Santana Moss. Santana Moss was the freaking man.
Yeah. Respo versus Barrios. Restrepo versus Barrios. Woo! That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I would say Restrepo because he's done it for longer, whereas Barrios, it was really the one breakout year. Barrios might end up having the better NFL career, but we're talking as a college player. I would say Restrepo because he came in with some promise as a freshman, and Restrepo's gotten better every year, and he's now the best slot receiver in the country, arguably.
Yeah, Restrepo. Yeah, I mean, and they're very similar too, right? Because they're both like kind of leaders, big time talkers. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Barrios' way of running off the field after the touchdown against Notre Dame. So Barrios had the moments, but Restrepo overall. 100%.
Restrepo can have those moments this year. You never know.
Yeah, he can. He absolutely can against Florida State. I think he's going to cook. But man, he starts Patchman because he isn't ready. Listen,
Scott Patchen. You remember that?
Yeah, that's the coach that I've hated the most out of anybody in the last 20 years.
so many head scratching decisions during his
Bro,
tenure.
Having Zion Nelson put on like 80 pounds in like 3 months, which is why he has no knees now. You know what I mean? Allegedly. You know what I mean? Like having him do that
Makes sense.
It's like, dude, you can't do that. Like you can't put on you
Go back and watch 2019 highlights, because I mean, I really commend Zion Nelson for being the starter all season. He was a true freshman.
Yep.
Way too small to be playing the position. Gets put in there. He's getting yelled at by freaking idiot Dan Enos. And like he's getting yelled at the end of the game because, you know, they're just sending blitzes and teeing off on him when Enos is not putting a blocker like a running back there to block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Idiot.
No, don't get me started on that guy. Like, he might be the worst OC we've ever had.
Without a doubt. What was more electrifying? Hester kick returner against UF, first player, band design. Fun. I was at a wedding. I'm going to say the bandy one because I was at a wedding watching that on my phone, and it was when the bride and groom were doing their first dance, and I jumped up. It was so the Bandy's INT holds a special place in my heart forever. But the Hester kick return against UF was dope too. But Bandy for me. What about you, John?
I had to miss the Notre Dame, but I was watching it. I wasn't able to go, but I was watching it on TV with a buddy of mine, and we jumped off the couch because we both went to Columbus. He's a Columbus kid. Bandy is, so we were like extra happy when we saw it was number 2 that picked it off, and he was going to the house. So that was a great play, but nothing beats Hester making the Orange Bowl, 90,000 people in the Orange Bowl erupt. That game I was at. I was sitting in the West End zone. I was in high school.
Okay.
I was like a junior in high school, I think, sitting in the upper deck of the West End zone. Mind you, we were there 2 hours before kickoff because it's, first come, first serve for general admission. We were there at the gate waiting for them to open. We still had to sit in the upper deck. That's how packed that game was. And to see Hester just break out of the pack and just the stadium felt like it was going to crumble because of how loud it was. Yes.
No place ever felt like that, bro. Like it's one of the most amazing feelings when that place was rocking. There was nothing like it. All right, last one. N'Kosi Perry versus TVD. Who?
I'd have to say TVD. His good moments outweighed Cozy's good moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Cozy, number 1, never had his head on straight all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that and Mark Richt never really trusted him.
Never. But always wanted to pull him. Always wanted chicken or the egg. Mm-hmm.
It was I don't know if it was the chicken or the egg. Like, did he not trust him because of something he did in practice? Because he wasn't, was he being disrespectful to him? There's probably some stuff behind the scenes we don't know. But Richt, I mean, that was Richt's guy. That was in his first full recruiting cycle. N'Kosi Perry was the number 1 guy he wanted, and he went and got him.
Yeah.
But was it that, or was it he didn't trust him because he just saw something on the field? I'm not sure what it was. We'll never know, probably.
Maybe something to do with his son.
Maybe something to do with his son. But when N'Kosi brought us back against Florida State in 2018, and I think that game put us at like 5-1, 6-1 or something.
Yep.
I'm like, for better or worse, let him make his mistakes, let him learn, but leave Perry's the quarterback the rest of the season. Because remember, it was Rozier to start the season.
Yep.
When he came in and he looked good in that Thursday night game against North Carolina, that we had all those pick sixes, and he beats FSU, looks amazing in the second half. I'm like, you leave him in. Like, I did not understand the decision of benching him, putting him in, benching him. I didn't understand that.
That destroyed his confidence. That destroys his confidence. Like, it never made sense. Just leave him in. Yeah,
there was something personal there happening, I think.
Yeah, 100%. You don't do that otherwise. Like, you don't do that because he missed a read. Like that's
something
not a reason.
Going on there.
Yeah, something on the play on the practice field. All right, guys, we're about to end it right here, man. Make sure to check out the website, youheardpodcast.com. We are about here. John, thank you so much for joining us, man. Let's drop this. Hold on. Wait a second. Bam, bam. And I have an outro. Bam.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it.